There has been an interesting conversation the previous days launched by Fred Wilson about the Twitter ecosystem's new era with less people filling holes, as he says, because they would be going to disappear, and serious innovation should come. And there was like Business Insider writing, fueling the conversation with asking a question: has Fred Wilson just dropped a bomb on the Twitter ecosystem? And I have been receiving so many emails and questions that I thought I would do a quick post and a quick video. Are we filling holes? You know what? Yes, we are filling holes. I think creating a startup is about filling empty space, as you could say differently. Filling a hole which is there, which no one or few people have touched yet, and that's the opportunity. And you know what? I think Twitter is filling a hole as well. And that hole is a status update space, which it helped create, but it's not the only one now anymore. With Facebook, if you think about LiveJournal, I think in '99 or something or earlier had status updates. Facebook has status updates. Google Buzz has status updates. Yahoo Mail has status updates. You name it, right? There are many services. Now, Twitter is the main player, is the main driver of growth for us. But you see, this is what I think a startup is. It's about innovating in empty space. And I think, as Josh says, reacting to Fred Wilson's post, that filling a hole is a great place to start, but not a very good place to end. I totally agree with that. So you know what? I think it's all about moving as fast as you can and adapting as fast as you can to the outside world. And remember, we were a video company nearly 2 years ago, and it's been actually roughly a year that we decided to move from that hole, which could have been a very bad hole to stay buried on because it wasn't growing as we expected, into the new space, which is the Twitter ecosystem. And that has been very successful for us with millions of downloads, with a 40% growth on Seismic Web in March, with a presence on several platforms. And most of our growth is coming from Twitter, hugely. And it's been very good, to partner with Twitter. We have had very close contacts and very open conversations. And sometimes like people like Ryan Sarver joked at us saying, like the Twitter ecosystem, publicly at Mix, Ryan said the Twitter ecosystem is about everywhere Twitter sucks, and you guys are innovating there. That's another whole feeling. For example, we created a contact management section of Seismic Web, which you should really try if you haven't, because it helps you see everyone who follows you. You can click all of them, and then you can start following them. You can see their stats, but you can also drag and drop to a list. And it's very useful. And you know what? Friends at Twitter told me, well, that's exactly how our own contact manager should look like. And I agree with that, and there is nothing wrong with that. We're getting a huge growth because we launch innovations like this, filling a hole, yes, but I am actually expecting Twitter to do this soon. So it's okay, I think, as long as you're moving as fast as you can. Now, and again, Twitter has been a great partner. Now, it would be very dangerous for us to rely 100% on Twitter. Another friend of mine at Twitter said one day, yes, you can see other girls, meaning you can support other social networks. And as I said, we've been supporting Facebook very early. We acquired Ping FM with more than 40 social networks now, and it's already in one of our apps and coming in all the apps. And that's okay, because Twitter is also it's not exclusive with us either. It has thousands of applications, so we're not expecting like an exclusive relationship. And what would be very dangerous for us would be to rely only on Twitter. And I think if you rely only on Twitter, it's very dangerous. It's your problem, really, but I wouldn't do that. A friend of mine got a few years ago most of its traffic from Google, from SEO, right? And suddenly Google didn't like what it was doing for some reason, and I'm not, explaining this here, but they got into page rank 0, basically rejected all his pages, and suddenly he went to nearly 0 traffic, and his company got huge difficulties, let's say, because of that. And he told me, actually, I will never ever do a startup that is based on one platform, one ecosystem. And this is not only about Twitter, it's the same with Facebook, as actually Fred Wilson, whose post, by the way, was, I think, very good. And I didn't see it as a bomb dropped at us at all. But anyway, he reminded us of the way Facebook changed the notification system. And companies like Zynga could not start the same way already today, because you don't get the notifications. So if you don't get the notifications for the apps, you don't get the same viral effect and the same growth, for sure. So that's, a big change. And if you were only Facebook, which is not what Zynga has done, now Zynga is, iPhone and web, it has its own service, I think you're safe. And we're doing the same. We're multi-platform, so we're on web, we're on desktop, Mac PC, we're on Android, we're Blackberry. Yes, I know, iPhone, iPad, and the answer is in the future. And we have a few more coming. So multi-screens, and then multi-services. So we support Twitter, Facebook, and we are about to launch our most exciting product ever, I think, which is Seismic Platform, which we announced a few weeks ago. And you know why we did that is because we're getting multiple requests a day from developers, most of them from the Twitter ecosystem, who want to get integrated into Seismic Desktop. It would take us 100 plus developers just to integrate them, and we can't do it. So we decided to stop the feature race, kind of. What was it? Almost, 7, 8, maybe nearly a year ago, and build a platform so that anyone can integrate in Seismic Desktop. You know what? You can even change the Twitter plugin. Even Twitter is a plugin. It's going to work like Chrome and extensions, Firefox extensions that you can add any social network. And so we're going to be, I think, less and less a Twitter application and more about just helping you manage your social network presence, your friends, your brand, by giving you all of those networks back to you, all the comments, all your friends, manage them, manage your community, and share across all of them. So we're on your side. And not that Twitter is not on your side, but Twitter will always be about Twitter. Facebook will always be about Facebook. We want to be on your side, the user, to just take advantage of social networks for your brands and to stay in touch with them, with your friends there. And I think we'll always be kind of neutral. So if Google Buzz becomes huge, we'll be there and supporting it. Now, so you see, it doesn't mean that we're not going to support Twitter. We're getting most of our growth from Twitter, and we enjoy working with Twitter as much as I think they enjoy working with us. And I don't think they see us as not innovating. Of course, it's fueled by the fact that they now have a mobile client, which is the Blackberry client. So take this example. They just blogged that it's the first official Twitter client for Blackberry. So what does this mean, official? We have a Blackberry client. There is another one, really cool, Uber Twitter and others. Twitterberry, way before that. Now there's an official one. So, that's an interesting one. So I have to admit, I wasn't expecting Twitter to have its own official clients on mobile so soon, but I was kind of expecting it, maybe not so soon, not in this form. The other interesting thing is that they're saying on their blog that they support it as much as they can for innovation. And the more I think about it, the more I think, one, it had to be expected, and two, it's okay. Why? Because again, Twitter will always be about Twitter. We will always be about helping you share and stay in touch with your friends or your communities, regardless about the social network. And that's okay. because again, Twitter has many applications and we will have many social networks. It doesn't mean that we won't collaborate with them. It doesn't mean that we don't love Twitter. It doesn't mean that we'll have any kind of problem. Same with monetization. We will talk about it likely next week, but I don't think, I think Twitter will monetize and that's fine, and we will likely take advantage of that, but I don't think it will be the only source. It will be also very dangerous for us. By the way, talking about the Blackberry, we are also competing directly with RIM on this, since they are building that client with Twitter. So that's a very interesting situation, right? Because we're investing on that platform, which frankly is not the easiest one, Blackberry. I think our team has like 8 or 10 devices to test it, and it's been very tough, honestly. So as many developers are saying, it's a difficult platform to code on, and not only is it difficult, but you're competing with the platform directly. So at least, well, I don't see that on Android and iPhone much. So it's an interesting move as well from RIM. I think again it's okay because we have integrated Ping FM in there, so you can post to up to 40 networks, and we will always be about several networks. And BlackBerry always had its Facebook app. I don't like it that much. It sucks my BlackBerry battery very fast and so on. So anyway, we will see. But it's okay. I don't think it's a problem as long as we keep moving. What I would hate really is for Twitter to keep like internal APIs only for the official clients or for Twitter.com. And you know what? I cannot be naive to the point of thinking that they won't do that. I think they will to a certain point, but you see what I mean? Like if they create a big disadvantage, if they compete with their ecosystem in a way. We've always been competing in a way, by the way, with Twitter since they have Twitter.com, and that's fine. Again, growing very fast by doing different things and bringing another experience. But what wouldn't be fine is if we didn't have the same tools to be in that competition. And that means opening the API enough. That means giving access to the firehose as we need. And you know what? Twitter has been, I think, a great example of of doing that in a very, very good way. If you take location, for example, we got the API and we launched months before Twitter.com launched it. So there are no signs that Twitter is doing this. And two, I think it would be a real problem since 70% of our traffic is coming from outside of Twitter.com. So I'm trusting Twitter to not do that, to maybe do it a little bit, but not do it too much. I mean, giving us the same chances. We will see. And there is actually a safety belt, which is competition. There are many social networks, and Twitter is the rock star of status updates, and I think it will remain in that position. I think it's fueling most of our growth, and it will continue to fuel most of our growth. But the good news is that if any of the players do something wrong, well, there is always competition to be either more open or to not do, that kind of, monetization, for example. We'll talk about monetization next week, but I don't expect Twitter to do anything wrong either, and more likely to, embrace the ecosystem. It would be a disaster, of course, to not, work with the ecosystem. So anyway, to conclude, are we feeling holes? Yes, and that's okay. Everybody is. Is that a big threat for us as long as we have that positioning, which is not only Twitter? No, it's not. And as long as we keep moving as fast as we can and we keep collaborating with Twitter and our other partners in a trustful and fair way, and I'm expecting this from Twitter. So I hope that answers all your questions about filling holes.